Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video for Warships. And today, I'm going to be taking a look at the newest ships that Wargaming has literally dropped in this development blog. So, it just happened yesterday and we have some new ships. And there is going to be a new ship that has cruiser class but having more HP than 100,000, which I was literally shocked to hear. I was not able to upload a video yesterday, but today I will talk about it, that what Wargaming is really cooking about these ships. Let's find out. If you are interested, definitely watch this video till the end. And let's talk about it. So we have a Soviet destroyer that is going to be a tier 8 premium Provorny or Provorny. I mean, okay, jokes aside, destroyer looks pretty cool. And we have a former German destroyer Z-33. Okay, that seems to be at least good, that it's going to be a real ship based on maybe the World War II, because it's in the late 1945, which is pretty nice. At least it's a real ship. It's not a paper ship. At least that's a good thing about this. And what they're talking about this is it's going to be bringing back some old heavy artillery of 5 150mm guns. So it has 150mm guns, it has 30mm HE shell penetration, and also have really good AP pen. I'm assuming it's also going to have a good AP alpha. But I want to know about the reload time. What would be the reload time look like? If it's going to be having good HE alpha, good AP alpha, but the reload time is trash, then I might not be interested in this ship, even though it has 550mm guns. But they're saying as a backup here, her 8 torpedo tubes launch fish with characteristics similar to those found on Delhi torpedoes. Now, Delhi is a tier 10 Russian destroyer, which is, I would say, nice. If they are giving a tier 8 premium destroyer tier 10 torpedoes, that should be something, right? For survivability, 25mm plating on Provorny's hull. So it's also going to have a 25mm plating, I'm assuming, on the sides like you find on the Elbing or maybe the Ragnar. So that's gonna be pretty good. I mean, you can actually shatter destroyers' HE shells with this hull. Like, for example, if this Provorny having this side 25mm armor, any destroyer that shoots HE shell, it will just going to shatter, which is, I would say, pretty nice. And also they are going to give access to specialized repair team. So it's it has access to super heal and engine boost. Wow, that's pretty nice. Even though it does not going to have access to smoke generator, and it also going to have poor concealment. I mean, they should have given it a radar. Just joking. I mean, it will make it extremely powerful, maybe too powerful, because it already have the super heal. So let's see what is going to be the reload time of that. Okay, so I mean, they're saying about that it can do pretty well from medium to long ranges. So it's going to be a damage farming ship. I mean, you can farm battleships and cruisers with that, and you use your super heals to survive if you are under fire, which I would say is pretty reasonable. I mean, we are kind of recently seeing more destroyers like that. Like, I have seen the shift or the change of meta. Like, Wargaming is more interested in giving you no smokes, but only giving you the speed boost. Well, that's exactly the case for even this Soviet destroyer. 19,600 HP, 19mm plating. They have said 25mm plating. They should have given some sort of 19mm, and then they should have given us some explanation in bracket that 25mm side, so they don't give that full information that what side that ship's hull gonna be look like with 25mm armor plating. Is it gonna be a lot? Is it gonna be a very small part? We really just don't know about that. Although we have 3x1 guns. What? So it has 3 guns. Okay. It's also going to have 2 guns. So it has, I would say, 2 layouts for turrets. It's in total of 5 guns, which I can pretty much understand. It has not that impressive base range. That's 11.6 kilometer. Destroyer dispersion though, and 2.0 sigma. That's pretty typical. Now here comes the HE. You have 2.1k HE alpha. I think this HE alpha is kinda like that of Shima Kaze line. In fact, the Yugumo, the Kagero, the Shima all have, I'm sure that they have 2.150k HE alpha, but they don't have the HE armor penetration like 30mm. So at least Shima Kaze HE alpha, or at least IGN destroyer torpedo boat line HE alpha, but the Harugumo or Kitakaze line HE armor pen. So it gets the best of the both worlds from the IGN destroyers like Harugumo and the Shimakaze, which is pretty nice. And the fire chance is some of like Ragnar. I mean, if I'm not wrong, Ragnar has 12% fire chance. I could be wrong, but it does have really good fire chance. So you have a fire chance like that of Ragnar? I'm assuming. I hope I'm not wrong, but it could be slightly low. It could be slightly higher for the Provorny compared to Ragnar. But yeah, you can maybe even just compare it with Ragnar. It's not a big deal. But here comes the reload time: 4.8 seconds. That's not too bad. But I'm assuming if it would be like slightly better, that would be nice. I'm sure the DPM is still not going to be the best in the world because its reload time is still like at least not that impressive. I mean, if I can maybe give you a comparison, Cossack have 8 guns. Cossack, I would say, one of the best destroyers at tier 8. The British destroyer that I'm talking about, the premium destroyer, having 5 seconds of reload time in 8 guns. It has 5 guns compared to 8 guns, but only having the reload time of what? 4.8 seconds. So that's not that impressive. So I'm quite assuming that it's gonna be having slightly less DPM than Cossack even, because it has a lot of guns and having slightly, just barely high reload time at 5 seconds for 8 guns. I need to check. But anyways, you have Delny torpedoes, 8 of them, 10 kilometer, 60 knots, 1.2 kilometer torpedo detect. No, that's not too bad. Like you have 60 knots with very decent concealment on the torpedoes itself. That seems to be pretty nice. Your speed is 36 knots, which I would say is average or maybe above average. For example, if I give you a comparison, Shimakaze have 39 knots of speed. It has only 36 knots of speed, and it does have a speed boost, engine boost, whatever you call it. But again, it's not like Shimakaze, so it is definitely, I would say, not super impressive, but it's not too bad either. I mean, I haven't even taken into the account the speed flag that can slightly increase the maximum speed from 36 to 37-ish knots or whatever. So you do have a super heal, which is, I would say, pretty nice. So if you ask me, maybe I might be interested in this destroyer. If they could have make the DPM around, I would say, for 4 seconds, like if we would have a reload time like 4 seconds, that would be pretty spicy. But well, 4.8 seconds, we will eventually see that what it's gonna be look like or feel like, and how they will be selling that chip. I'm assuming it's gonna be for some bundles, or we all know the shenanigans that Wargaming is currently doing in this game. Just sheer monetization practice with the form of, I would say, unfortunately, gambling way. I'm not a big fan of that at all, but here we are. And now we have a European destroyer, the Blyskavica 44. That's another tier 8 premium. Now, I'm sure at least some of my clanmates are actually very interested in this destroyer. Maybe from the historical perspective. I don't know. But for me, it's pretty okay. I would be more happy to see if it's gonna be impressive in terms of gun department, because I love gunboat destroyers. But let's see what they will be making this destroyer like. Let's see what they say about this destroyer. So it has access to 802mm guns, armed with only AP shells, having a quick reload. I don't know what sort of reload, we will find out eventually. And it also going to have high shell damage, that going to give you a good damage per minute. So it's going to be having access to only AP shells with improved ricochet angles and low arming threshold. What that really means is that if you find Druid, that is a tier 10 research bureau destroyer that you can buy, and it's a British destroyer that has really amazing AP only guns. So it kind of have the similar characteristics like that of Druid. Improve ricochet angles so that even the destroyers when angled, you are going to still pen them, and low arming threshold means that they will, if the enemy destroyers will be broadside, you are going to get pen damage. So you might not need HE shells at all to deal with destroyers, which I would say it's okay. But what about the concealment? We will find out eventually. Now they are also saying that it has high top speed, okay, which means that it has high base speed. Now I'm assuming it should be around 39 to 40 knots, and it also going to have some good maneuverability and concealment as well. Let's see how good the concealment really is. And it also going to have a fast acting repair party. So it's going to have a repair party emergency engine power, so it's going to be having a very fast engine boost like you find on Smolensk maybe, or maybe the Attilio Rigolo, or I would say the Kassar line. Those destroyers have sort of emergency engine power thing. Like you're going to have a burst of the speed, like 25 to 30%, but it's gonna last for very, very short time, or at least relatively short time. And then you're also going to have a hydroacoustic surge, which having 5 kilometer detection. So again, kind of like reminds me of that of Vampire 2, but it probably going to not have a smoke. And yeah, it does not have a smoke. So now that is totally now it's depending on good concealment, and it's also going to be depending upon the TPM and the speed. If it has a good concealment, it can spot the destroyers for himself, and if it has a good speed, then it can spot the very, very low detection destroyers, for example, like Cossack or Kagero, or maybe Asashio, whatever those very highly concealed destroyers are. So, well, let's find out these stats. 18,500 HP. It does not have a plating that we were looking at for the Provorny. Like it has some area of 25mm, but it's only going to have 19mm, I'm assuming. It has 8 guns. What's going to be the reload time? Oh, it's actually having decent reload time of 4 seconds. So to put that into comparison or perspective, a Cossack, which is a currently very, very strong tier 8 British premium destroyer, also have 8 guns, but having 5 seconds of reload time, but with HE shells. Okay, it also have AP, but it has HE shells as well, and it has a reload time of 5 seconds. This has 4 seconds. Okay, then we have dispersion, destroyer, dispersion. I'm pretty much assuming that, and then we also going to have torpedoes. They have talked that the torpedoes are gonna be like those of Oland. So Oland is a tier 8 Tech 3 destroyer, and I'm not a big fan of Oland. Oland torpedoes are pretty, I would say, underwhelming or underdamaging. 10.7k, 10 kilometer range, 76 knots. The speed might look impressive, but it's not impressive or as good as tier 10 Tech 3 Holland. Holland has, for example, 90 or 86 knots of speed. Yeah, it has 86 knots of speed. Holland has definitely 10 knots less speed compared to the Holland, I would say. The damage is pretty okay at 10.7, but again, there are very good destroyers that does have a lot of damage while not having a lot of torpedo tubes, like in the case of Blyska. So I'm not a big fan of torps. These are only gonna do some floods, and you're not even able to get fire, so your damage is very, I would say, questionable. You might not be able to do much damage in Blyska because you are AP only, and then you're not going to get that much damage from torps. We will eventually find out. The entire defense, I haven't even talked about the entire defense. How the entire defense looks like for this ship as well. Okay, pretty bad, I would say. That is like pretty bad for the Provorny. Also, let me check the entire defense of this ship as well, and it looks pretty bad. So you don't have smoke, so you are going to get pretty much screwed by carriers. I'm assuming the rocket planes will hurt, but maybe the speed might help you because they have the very good speed. Like, let me check the speed. I haven't even checked the speed. I might missed out on the speed. All right, so we can see that it has actually really good speed. 39 knots is very nice. Now, like, they are also giving it an emergency engine power. So it's gonna go as fast as more than 40 knots, 45 knots, I'm assuming. So you do have 4 charges. You have a repair party, but it's not superheats like you were looking at Provorny. You do have a hydro. Okay, that's a good thing, but I mean, your concealment is what, 7.2 kilometer. At tier 8, you don't have access to, I would say, I mean, you have access to double concealment thing, right? I mean, you can conceal yourself with the help of Captain Build and conceal yourself with the help of upgrades. So you can have as good as, I would say, 6 kilometer concealment, maybe slightly better. I don't know, 5.9, 6 kilometer. I don't know. Maybe it's good, it's not good, I don't know. We will eventually find out, but it should be good against destroyers. I'm definitely sure about that. So it can be a good thing. But again, you don't have any HE shells to set fires on battleships. We will eventually find out. But now, after these destroyers, let's see what Wargaming is actually cooking with another unique, I would say, experimental ships. We were having Metz, Vyazma, Oregon, that they were testing with some absurd mechanics. And now we are going to have some other set of ships. The cruiser name is Protector. Hotaka, a Japanese battleship, and a cruiser Varese. I hope I didn't mispronunciate that name. Otherwise, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. If someone just get offended, I'm really sorry. But yeah, it's a Michelangelo based on. So Michelangelo is actually a dockyard Italian cruiser. It recently happened, maybe a couple of years ago, or at least more than a year ago. Or it's very recent ship that I know of. I don't have actually the ship, but yeah, it's based on Michelangelo's hull. And Hotaka, I'm assuming it's also going to be based on, it's based on Adatara. That's a tier 9 Tech 3 battleship. And we are going to have the Protector. That's going to be based on Congress. So it's a premium tier 8 Alaska Congress. So it's based on that. Let's see what Wargaming is cooking about these ships. Okay, so let me check this. Okay, so they are going to say that we are having a new gameplay concept for them. So it's going to be having a different and unique gameplay concept, unlike the other ships like Metz, Vyazma, and Oregon. So what do they have? They're going to have improved characteristics, or they will gain improved characteristics based on how many HP pool they lost, but they will differ in a few key areas. So what's going to be? So, okay, while the first set, which they were talking about the Metz, Vyazma, and Oregon, they have dangerous main batteries. These ships gain improvement to their secondary battery as they take damage. Oh damn! So they're gonna be making secondaries something like crazy or absurd. Wow. Okay. Now that is an interesting concept compared to the main battery. I mean, there are many ships out there. There are many ships other than, I would say, Metz, Vyazma, Oregon that has, I would say, the way they are saying it, dangerous main batteries. So now they are also looking at secondary battery as sort of highly dangerous thing for enemy ships. That is something I would say interesting for me. So as the battle progresses, the secondary range and rate of fire increases. I can see here, while the main battery armor is relatively weak, they do have access to, so they are still going to give them the broken F key with limited stock of ammunition. All right, let's see what they're actually cooking. So we have American Cruiser Protector at tier 8. So it's going to have 68,000 HP, this American Cruiser Protector, whatever they call it. That is insane. To put that into perspective, Alaska has 60,000 HP, almost 60,000 HP. Yoshino has something like more than 60,000. I think it has 61,000 HP. Kronstadt, which is a rare Soviet cruiser, at tier 9 it has 71,000 HP, but at tier 8 this protector has 68,000 HP. What is going wrong with Wargaming right now? Just giving absurd HP pool for cruisers? This is battleship's level of HP on a cruiser hull. That is insane. And now they are also going to give something like secondary battery firing range improvement of 16%. So I'm assuming it's already going to have a base secondary battery increase. Like it should be having a very good secondary range, and you can just have even additional secondary battery firing range, and they're also going to have secondary battery reload time at minus 30%. Okay, that seems pretty spicy. The range is pretty okay. The guns seems to be pretty much okay. These are Alaska guns, I'm assuming. I don't know if they have changed anything of these little parameters from Alaska, but we will eventually find out. Then they're also going to give limited AP shells, 56, firing range is only 11.5 kilometer. Okay, and you also going to have a burst reload time of pretty high at 52 seconds. I don't know. Does not look that good to me. I mean, giving F keys to every single new concept, whatever they are testing, it seems pretty susceptible to, I would say, problems, balancing problems. But anyways, we are also going to have what? Yeah, this is the protector. I'm assuming it's going to have pretty much similar things going for it, like heavy repair teams, hydro, defensive air fire. I mean, fighter. Exactly, kind of like having the similar parameters that you find on the Vyazma, Oregon, or I would say Metz. And now we have a Hotaka, which is based on Adatara. Hotaka has what? And a battleship having HP of a Musashi. Like, it's literally having very close resemblance to that of Musashi in terms of HP. Again, high HP, 94,560 HP. That is crazy for tier 9 battleship. I mean, it's literally a tier 10 HP at tier 9. Like, that is pretty nuts, to be honest. Now, it's also going to have more improvement in secondary battery fire range, plus 20%, reload time minus 30%. That is insane. You have, again, a Tara like guns. I'm assuming these are going to be pretty much working as similar as a Tara. And then you're also going to have some limited AP shells with 12 km range, slightly improvement from, I would say, a slight improvement from Protector from 11.5 to 12. It seems, I don't know how they will be balancing that, but I'm not a big fan of FK. I mean, if you get 2 bursts in a very short duration, you are going to have a massive damage, or I would say massive impact on the broadside ship. So it will basically gonna snipe that ship who just made a mistake at close ranges, that's for sure. It's also going to have some I don't know how good it is. I don't want to really talk about that. It's not looking that good, to be honest. If I just look in the general numbers, speed is okay. And it also have access to, again, the same things: damage control, repair, heavy repair premium, super heal, and fighter. Again, the obsession with repairs, I don't know. We will find out eventually what they will be looking like in the game. And finally, we are going to look at the Italian cruiser Varese. Oh my goodness, 102,000 HP. 102k HP for a cruiser. What is that abomination? Whoa. That is insane, man. Also going to have, now remember, we are talking about the Varese, which is based on Michelangelo hull. Now, Michelangelo is one of the very fun and very strong secondary SAP cruiser at tier 9. And it does not have that much HP as that what they have given to Varese had at 102k HP. It does have some plating with 27mm. Alright, I mean, it's still having a lot of HP, so you can just tank a lot of Battleship AP volleys that can overmatch you. We will eventually find out. I mean, if it's having the pretty much ditto copy, same Michelangelo hull, that it is going to be susceptible to getting overmatched by at least 457mm guns. We will find out eventually. Now, it's also giving the minimum effective HP hit point threshold. If you have less than 25,000 HP, for example, you are not going to get the buff from the flight or fight sort of mechanic that they are adding for these ships, that improving the secondary battery fire range and the reload time. So you have an 18.4 kilometer range. Again, pretty much similar guns. You have SAP. Michelangelo also have SAP, but I'm assuming that it's also going to have the SAP secondaries at tier 10. Also going to have a burst, because why not? So you're going to have burst of SAP shells, which at least won't be citadeling you, unlike AP from the other Tara hull or whatever, that Congress hull that we were talking about, but still going to do pretty significant damage with burst with 2 shots having a burst interval of 1.7 seconds, which is still, I would say, pretty absurd for 8 of these guns with 10k SAP. Well, nice wargaming in terms of balance. It looks pretty balanced. And we have some airstrikes, SAP secondaries. That is gonna be pretty interesting. You have 8.3 kilometer range, so I'm assuming with the really good firing range, it's gonna go pretty absurdly high. It should be more than 12.5 kilometer of range. Now I'm assuming it should be pretty impressive. If you build the secondary armament with 8.3 kilometer, I'm really assuming it's gonna go pretty high in the secondary range. It should be going to 11 kilometers. Should be having very good SAP secondary range. With the improved secondary range, with the help of this I would say, mechanic that they are adding in the game. Well, you're also going to have super heals again, hydro. Okay, does it? Okay, so at least what this ship does not have is the smoke. If it would have a smoke, the exhaust smoke generator like you find in Michelangelo, that would be pretty absurd. In fact, it would be too ridiculous. At least it does not have that. So thanks Wargaming, making it slightly balanced than balanced Michelangelo. I don't know. We will find out. They are cooking some really interesting ships. This is the Valparaiso that they will be adding in a Wishing Wharf event, so you have to spend money for getting this. Good luck with that, guys. Happy spending if you are looking to spend. I will not. I'm not gonna spend on that Wishing Wharf, that's for sure. And you're also going to have Midnight Hollow. Like and subscribe. Ooh, camo looks pretty good, pretty nice. And also going to have the destruction effect. I don't know, guys. Just let me know about these current ships that they have added. And these ships, I'm not sure, guys. What are they going to be making this ship like? What are they going to be doing in the future if they are testing in randoms? I don't understand. If they are balancing them in randoms, so they should be selling them for randoms, right? They should be selling these ships for random battles if they are balancing these ships in randoms, right? That's what I assume. That's what I think. Let me know, guys. What do you think about this? This abomination having absurd HP for their tiers, and also have absurd burst fire and also secondaries. Because, yeah, this is a new thing after Libertad, I'm assuming. UrAvgWarGaming is pretty much interested in just making absurdly broken Libertads again in a form of different ships. We will find out. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you get some information and value from this devlog that I have explained. If you find anything that is confusing, you let me know in the comments. I will try to explain it if you needed it. And till then, I will catch you guys into the next devlog. Peace out.